Right, Los Angeles is a fair dinkum massive city, surrounded by iconic spots like Beverly Hills, West Hollywood, Santa Monica, Malibu, and heaps more. And we've had a proper look at all of them. But there's one area we haven't shown you yet, and that's Westlake Village. Well, today that's all changed. This area's got something completely different on offer, and we're cruising around this new development. Modern houses built on a bit of land with bonds of views in every direction, making the most of the setting. Our aim with this tour is pretty simple: to get you closer to the experience and show you what life's like around here. So let's get cracking. The whole shebang is defined by Hidden Valley, an area that connects a heap of cities seamlessly while still keeping its own charm. With the rolling hills, the green valleys, and the top-notch privacy, it's a real hideaway, secluded but just minutes from the Pacific. It all kicks off at the gates of White Stallion Ranch, the gated community where this house is sitting. Righto, everyone, we're gonna start this tour in a slightly different way. Firstly, we've got Ermin behind the camera. Hey everyone. Secondly, we're actually starting at the entrance of this gated community and going all the way up to the house. Plus, we're driving this stunner Ferrari, the 296 GTS. Thanks to Ferrari Westlake, they lent us this Butte car to drive around the neighborhood, which is a pretty amazing area. White Stallion Ranch is a guarded gated community with 10 houses. Each of these properties is on 20 acres. So everyone's got plenty of land, heaps of privacy. And that's why famous faces like Britney Spears come here. Jamie Foxx and Ellen DeGeneres too. But even without that kind of resume, when you come see these houses and soak in the views, the appeal speaks for itself. Mate, you can find a bit of peace and quiet and inspiration out here. Now, the house we're going to check out is on the highest lot in the development, so it's got ripper views all around. And seeing, as we're at the entrance right now, I'll punch in the code and head on up to the property. Now, this property's got a long private driveway that takes you right up to the top where the house is sitting. And on the left, we got this bonds of man-made lake. And I tell you what, driving up here is a top experience. With 20 acres, this drive takes you a minute or two to get all the way home. Now we're heading up in altitude. We're starting to see the house on our left and the Santa Monica Mountains on our right. And there you go. Now we just need to head on to the cobblestone driveway that leads us to the motor court. And actually, why don't I pull up into the courtyard so we can take a squiz at the house? Welcome, everyone, to Quincy, this magnificent estate. So far, we've given you a peek at this Butte gated community and the experience of getting here. And I gotta say, once we get up to this elevation, the views are fair dinkum incredible. From Hidden Valley all the way to the Pacific. You can see it all. Now, this motor court's also really generous. I like the cobblestones here. And to my left, the paddock court. And behind that, you can see this decomposed granite pathway that goes all the way around the property. So you can make the most of all these unique moments, these viewing corridors, and just enjoy them. Now let's talk about the house. To my right, you can see the 4-car garage attached to your laundry room. And there's also a separate 4-car garage, real spacious. That way, you can store Butte cars like this Ferrari. Or if you're throwing a big bash and want to have heaps of people over, you can definitely do it with this garage and this spacious motor court. Now, the house itself is a bit of all right. 15,000 square feet, freshly built. You got glass walls and slideways doors everywhere. And because it's a single story, it makes the most of the outdoors big time. Plus, on the outside, they're using stucco metal trims around the roof line and limestone, which I'll point out too. And actually, speaking of limestone, this limestone walkway takes you all the way to the front door, and you're basically walking past this massive water feature. Now, we're used to seeing water features on our channel, but this one's more like a full-size pool. I like how deep it is, and it's got this dark finish that makes it look like a black mirror. And you can see water features on the other side too. It sets a peaceful tone before you even get inside the house. And check out all the glass going on here, bringing heaps of natural light into the great room. And actually, let's head inside. As soon as you walk into the great room, the first thing you clock is this ripper view all the way to the Pacific. And on top of that, we're getting bonza natural light. Motorized sliding glass doors open the space out to the outdoors. And we got the sitting area, dining area, and the kitchen here. But before I talk about these spaces, why don't we rattle off the specs? We've got 9 bedrooms, 11 bathrooms, 14,839 square feet of inside space, sitting on 75 acres, and it's up for grabs for $30 million. I want to give a shout out to the leased-in agents, Nikki Laporta and Karen Crystal, for making this tour happen. And as usual, you can find more info on this Butte property described in this video. Make sure to check it out. And with that, I want to quickly change angles, everyone. This way we can yarn about this formal sitting area. We've got the sectional couch, the 2 chairs, the oversized coffee table, and more importantly, you can still take in the views. And by the way, the space is bloody generous with 20-foot-high ceilings, which I reckon is bonza. It's got great natural light here too. Now, on the other side, we got a fireplace to cozy up the space. But apart from that, I really want to talk about this feature wall. If you have a squiz at the house from the outside, you'll see these 2 walls cutting through the whole property. And these walls are clad in Sonoma limestone. It's got this Butte natural texture. And it's got a real nice warm beige color. And every time these walls touch any of the inside spaces, they're taking that chance to create something pretty flash like this. And in this case, besides the fireplace, we've got this wall too. It looks a bit fancy with the light churnine from behind, highlighting the texture of the stone even more. And underneath is a gas fireplace with a marble face. And inside, they're using lava rock and fluted stone detailing to add a bit of depth. And this striped texture is echoed throughout the house too. So I'll point that out as we go. And that pretty much wraps up the living room. Now, why don't we head over to the other side? Like I mentioned earlier, the motorized slideways glass doors open the space to the outdoors. And right in the middle is the dining area. Solid wood table, plenty of room for 8 people to sit. And more importantly, I reckon it's grouse howl from this room. You can mix with the kitchen and the living room. And speaking of the kitchen, why don't we point out a few details in there? The first thing I clocked in this kitchen is the marble floor, the way it's joined up in the back. The backsplash also goes right into the wall, creating a gate effect. And you've got oak cabinetry. This oversized island is wrapped and crafted in marble. And I really like the size, the mood lighting, and the fact that you got a built-in bar here with bar stools, giving you a chance to have a feed inside your kitchen and mingle with the space. And Erman, why don't you meet me on the other side so we can chat about the cabinetry and a few of the details here. First off, inside the oak cabinets, there's this nice polished nickel detail, which we'll see throughout the house. Then, of course, this richly vein-structured stone runs right up to the ceiling. And here, we got the vent wrapped in cabinetry, and it's also got the fluted detail. Again, I'll point this out as we go. Your Miele gas cooktop. And that's about it for this section. Now, over to the other side, we got an oversized sink, but they've also got dishwasher drawers. Now, this is an interesting choice, because heaps of times we see the full-size dishwasher with a panel. But these are a bit more practical, easier to load too, because you don't have to bend down to fill up your dishes. And here they've got another one. And heading this way, we got the wall cabinet. The panel freezer and panel fridge are right here. And not to change the subject, I actually forgot to mention there's one more detail over there. We've got the pendant lights surrounding the integrated vent. That's not something we see too often. And that wraps up the kitchen. To my left is the chef's kitchen. A house this size, considering the amount of bedrooms, the square footage, and the amount of entertaining space we've got, definitely needs a chef's kitchen. And this pantry's grouse with heaps of cabinets. And we can also get some natural light thanks to the skylight. Now, I want to focus on a few details here. We obviously have heaps of bottom cabinets, top cabinets running all the way to the ceiling, open shelves with LEDs. And we've also got another oversized sink here. Now, I reckon these sinks are grouse, because you can put 2 faucets on it, and it adds heaps of convenience. And when you think about throwing big events, having dinners here, having a sink like this is definitely handy. And of course, we got the dishwasher right here. Now, to my left, we've got the Miele gas cooktop. The vent's also wrapped in cabinetry. Fits in with the minimalistic aesthetic. And then to my right, we've got the paneled refrigerator, freezer, and Miele microwave. Now, leaving the kitchen, I want to take everyone to the main hallway. Now, it doesn't really look like a hallway anymore. Actually, we've got a wall here and a recessed painting. But if you come to this side and press this button 3 times, check out what happens. It's fitted into the wall. It's a motorized door. That's a bloody clever design element, and it takes you to the main hallway where we've got the main bedroom, the guest rooms, and a common sitting area for all these bedrooms. And we'll check out that space later. But for now, I want to continue our tour of the formal dining room. Another grouse space that's flooded with natural light. We got the table in the middle, comfy seats in, the lighting. And we've also got the tongue and groove hemlock, ceiling running all the way to the outside. That's a really durable wood. So you can use it on the inside and outside, and it just creates a more seamless effect that spills out to the entire exterior. Now, another detail I want to point out here is the fact that you can see the reflections of the water from the water feature on the ceiling. That's fair dinkum mesmerism to look at. Now, another interesting fact about this formal dining room is the fact that it features a wine cellar that can hold up to 540 bottles. And another interesting fact about this space is this is where we've got the second wall cutting through the property, hence the limestone design at the back. And these are hot-rolled steel plates with these metal bars welded to the back to create the shelves for your wine bottles. And we've also got mood lighting at the back. That's a real practical and fun design element that I really like. And this metal will also rust over time. And then you've got the natural stone texture. That's a bloody clever design. And of course, when you're done, you just close the door. Now, the other aspect of this formal dining room that I personally really love is that it faces the front of the house, so you take advantage of these views. And it also opens up towards the water. Actually, I'll open the slideways glass door here. And like I mentioned on the outside, the fact that this feature pool is so deep just adds so much more mezzanine and depth to the pool and the space. And we were joking about this earlier. Can you imagine having a feed here and just walking down to this edge and sitting down here, enjoying listening to the water, the sounds, the breeze, and this view? That'd be a bonza experience. And I reckon it's grouse how they're making the most of the facade of the house with this formal dining room. Now, I want to point out one more thing. If you look to the other side, you'll see another bit of glass going on. And that's the other bit of the house where we've got the offices. Let's go check it out. For the massive size of this house, they're using every wing for different purposes. And here we got 2 offices. Let me show you the first one. We've got the white oak plank floors. Again, I reckon it's grouse how much natural light this house has. We've got the table in the middle. And this bit also faces the water in the front of the house, where you can cop a squiz at the views of Hidden Valley, straight from your office. We've also got the high ceilings and a cozy sitting area. And like I mentioned earlier, I'll keep pointing out this limestone wall throughout the tour. Now, let's head outside for a bit, because this wing has another couple of rooms. The first one set up to be a secondary office and property, and the last room set up as a maid's quarters. That's why it's got its own bathroom. And to set up these 2 offices, the first one's the one we just had a squiz at, and the second one's right here. There's also a full bathroom here with a stand-up shower. That way, you can use it as an office or as a guest room. Now, heading back to the great room, we're gonna check out the entertaining wing. By this point, I reckon you've got the theme. Every corner or every wing of this house is designed for a specific purpose. And because this is entertaining, we can have a squiz at some real fun rooms. The first space I want to focus on is the sitting area. You got the couches and the coffee table, which is grouse. And every time we walk into any of these sitting areas or living rooms, I want to point out the coffee tables. It always gives me a chance to clock the aesthetic that the homeowner or the developers are going for. Now, besides that, we got the motorized sliding glass doors opening the space to the outdoors. And that's another theme of this house. Because the building's only 1 story, it's real easy to get around. And on top of that, it gives a chance for pretty much every room to open up to the views outside. And now we're on the other side of the first bit of limestone wall that we showed you. This is the other side of it. And here it creates a grouse backdrop for this 100-inch frameless TV. We've got built-ins here again with a reveal. And of course, these ripper views. Now, why don't we head over to the other side so we can yard about the bar. This bar is designed like the bar in a restaurant. I reckon it's something to do with the metal rack system that's attached to the ceiling and where you have all your spirits. But I also really like the ocean reef cut vein travertine here. Now, Ermin, let's get a bit closer. Because this isn't just travertine, it's man-made. Because when you're using travertine on the bar top kitchen counter, surfaces where you're going to hold water or maybe liquids, it's best to fill it. That way, if it gets stained, you can clean it up easy. But when you're using travertine on a wall or as a backdrop, I personally reckon you should leave it empty so you can benefit from the natural texture and the depth of it. And it just looks like a bit of the earth is in your house, in a space you can enjoy every day. Now, let's head into the bar. The oak cabinetry is here too, and your usual appliances, the wine fridge, the ice maker, the sink, and you got the bar stools too. This is a fun spot to entertain. And to my right, we've got a big picture window where you can see the tips of the Santa Monica Mountains. But more importantly, you can lower it with just a touch of a button. There's actually a drop-down screen that's 130 inches. That way, you can watch something here while you're sitting at the bar stools. I reckon that's a clever and fun twist. Now, because this is the entertaining room, we've also got a bit of chess set. I really like these chairs. They've got a suede back. It's a nice two-tone contrast. Righto, keep on moving. Next up, the gym. Rubber floors, generous space. Glass sliding doors, opening to the outdoors. There's also a yoga floor here. The breeze is coming through. You could definitely fill this space up, really enjoy it. But I'm distracted by this rowing machine, because I gotta be honest, I find this rowing machine, right? Heaps of houses we've been visiting got them, and I always wonder, Whether they design them like that so you reckon you're rowing through the water, or they're just trying to be all eco-friendly so you don't got to use a Sparky. So they cooked up this contraption, and funny enough, it makes me feel like you're just cranking away, washing your duds in a tub. Might be a silly comment, but chuck your thoughts in the comments below, yeah? Tell us why they're designed like that. They do look pretty grouse, though. Real organic-like, with that timber frame. But yeah, we're seeing these rowing machines a fair bit in the houses we're checking out. Anyway, let's crack on. Next up, we got the spa. This is a bloody bonza space. Naturally, got your vanity here. Natural stone walls. Those casement windows up top. Always need good vent in spots like this. And of course, the stand-up shower's got a steam function. I always suss out the display, or steam, to see if it's a sauna. But this is what I'm on about. The plunge into icy water. We got the vertical timber paneling. Tongue and groove all interlocking. And then we've got 2 stainless steel hoops with a cinch point there. That way, you keep the whole cold plunge structurally sound. And Ermin, let's get a closer look, mate. Inside's all stainless steel. So that's where you get your waterproofing from. And obviously, your cold filler, same natural stone back there too. It's a ripper of a feature. This is, what do you reckon, Ermin? I reckon it's a bit scary, 'cause it's cold. Yeah, right, cold plunges ain't exactly a barrel of laughs. But once you get used to them, they're bloody good. Good for getting the blood pumping. When you think about it, you got the sauna here. So you get all warmed up, then you come over here, into the ice, get that circulation going, and to cap off your day, you nip back to the shower or sauna and start all over again. Now, it ain't a massive space, really, but they've crammed all these features in pretty effectively and made the most of the room. Now, we ain't done with the entertaining bit yet. Still gotta suss out 2 more rooms. First one, here's the movie room. But before we head in there, gotta ask you lot. Hopped into the dunny, and wouldn't you know it, it's got one of my all-time fave features, a concrete vanity. And in the same vanity, we got the drainage slot for your wall-mounted tap with a concrete splashback. Let me show you. That's real satisfying to watch. And on the other side, we got the loo with the same limestone feature wall. Righto, moving on to the movie room. Just past the entry, we got this cozy bar area with a bar fridge, sink, cool tile design, open shelves. Now, let's get into the movie room. 2 front rows for comfy sofas, dark tones. And up on the ceiling, we got that same tallow wood we've been seeing all over the house. Gives a bit of depth and warms up the space. Naturally, you got built-in speakers, wall sconces, 4K laser projector to my right, and your massive screen to my left, a decent-sized movie room. And still heaps more to see. Right, gonna take a quick break from the tour to give a shout out to Odoo for sponsoring today's video. As heaps of you know, building and running a business ain't a walk in park. Between the day-to-day stuff, managing sales, accounting, the website, and everything else, it can get bloody overwhelming. That's where Odoo comes in. It's an all-in-one solution for managing everything your business needs. Say I want to build a website. You can use Odoo's website builder, which lets you whip up a professional-looking site with just a few clicks. Just answer a few questions about your business. Pick a color scheme. Decide what you want to focus on, choose a theme, and tweak it to suit your needs. Easy as that. You can see I spun up an event page for a film premiere we put on for our documentary-style episodes. And it only took a couple of minutes. Best thing is, your first Odoo app is totally free for life. That includes unlimited hosting, support, and even a custom domain name for a year. So, whether you're launching a brand new venture or revamping your current business, Odoo's got your back. Check the link in the description to suss out more about their Ripper tools. And cheers again to Odoo for supporting the video. And now back to the tour. This is what we're here for. The scenery, the views all around, and this breeze. Gotta say, walking around this property is a pretty amazing and liberating experience. And we're currently doing the rounds on this decomposition phase. Granite pavers encircle the property, and I want to point out a few spots, moments where you can enjoy the house. Right here, we got another sitting area with a steel pergola design overhead, and they bung these boulders in different spots around the house. That way, you can just plunk yourself down, take a minute, cop a load of what's in front of you, and enjoy this incredible spot. I mean, it's unreal when you cop a squiz of the mountains and the fact you can see all of Ventura and the Pacific Ocean. Fair dinkum, it's something else. Now, to my left, you can see the glass around. That goes into the main bathroom. And then the walkway will take you right out to the peninsula. But first, I want to focus on this side of things. We got a beautiful fire pit here. Again, it's all about framing the view, creating different moments, sections for you to enjoy. And I reckon if I was living in this house, I'd be using this fire pit all the time, because it's only a few steps from your main bedroom. And alongside that, of course, is the highlight of the backyard, that bloody massive 57 feet by 37 feet zero-edge infinity pool. And I'll get into the details there. But first, let me take you this way, so we can suss out the covered patio that opens up to the great room. I reckon whoever lives in this house, they're going to be making the most of the space for outdoor living, entertaining, and heaps of different amenities, starting with the outdoor kitchen. A proper kitchen, where you got a kitchen island, sink, built-in fridge, even a sitting area. And around the back, you got a gas Barbie, commercial vent hood up top. And I dig the fact they've wrapped the vent hood in the same stucco, so it kind of feels a bit more integrated. Makes it look a bit more solid, I reckon. Now, at the end of the outdoor kitchen, we got the outdoor shower here, which is always a dead set bonus. And there's a loo out here too, because we got the pool real close by. Now, I want to show you the rest of the covered patio. And again, we see that tallow wood ceiling design. And the beauty of this timber is that you can use it both indoors and out. And when you chuck in some wall sconces, built-in speakers, space heaters, and even a couple of skylights, you just give the space so much more life and warmth. Right. We got an outdoor dining area here too, and behind me is a sitting area. But first, I want to get you lot over here. I want to yap about some of the details inside the motorized glass sliders. Firstly, I like how they're using the same porcelain from inside out here too. So the transition's seamless as. And then they've hidden the tracks real cleverly. It's a bit more minimalist. And if you cop a good look at where each track starts, they got these little grates too. That's the drainage. Because this bit's pretty level and covered. They're assuming rainwater or water in general ain't gonna run to this bit. But if it does, they got a built-in drainage system to collect all that water to make sure it doesn't run inside. I just reckon that's a subtle, clever, and handy touch. Now, on the other side, we got the sitting area. Naturally, when you got a view like this, weather like this, you want to take advantage of it as much as you can. Comfy seats, another massive fireplace. We got both fireplaces and concrete heaters, and a telly up top and that limestone wall, right? I want to keep Ermin where he is, because I'm going to quickly swing the camera this way and show off this view. This is why we're here too. When you clock that pool, that point, that view, the mountains all around, it'll blow your bloody socks off. You really don't need heaps of entertainment, music, or things that really add to the experience out here. Stepping out on this terrace, feeling this breeze, and checking out this view every day is enough to keep me happy. Actually, the size of the pool is spot on. Remember, this block is 75 acres, but we're actually sitting on this point. It's important to lay out your outdoor space and moments properly, and this pool is the highlight. It's just the right width and length where it makes the most of the views, but it still leaves you with this point, an experience where you can walk right to the edge. Now, on the other side, there's a real bonza deck with an outdoor scenario too. And I personally dig that this pool's got an infinity edge and a zero edge, which makes it real minimalist. And when the bottom of the pool's black like this, it looks like a black mirror. I reckon you're just seeing reflections. And right now, there's a bit of breeze, so the water's moving about. But this morning, this pool looked like a sheet of glass, looking bloody amazing. Naturally, you got a raised jacuzzi hot tub with it too. And on the other side, the pool actually sits on the ground along the contour of the land. This scenery, this pool, this backyard, the outdoor experience is why we're here. Now, I want to take you lot this way, because we got to visit the guest house. The guest house is actually pretty spacious, and the interior design, the overall architecture, tracks with the main property. Seamless glass sliders open up to a real bonza living room. And here, the guest house has its own limestone feature wall that frames the picture. And then we got the transition from the timber ceiling to the normal ceiling. Your sitting area, there's a kitchen here too with a kitchen island, breakfast bar, gas cooktop, real nice glass splashback. I like that they've made this a proper guest house. Actually, there's outdoor parking for the guest house just nearby. That way, when you got guests staying over, they can have a bit of space, a moment all to themselves. Right now, the guest house has 2 bedrooms. First one's this way. It's got a real nice bathroom with a walk-in shower, and they've turned the guest bedroom into an office. Want to quickly go this way and show you the second one pronto. Room with a king-size bed, oak floors. Sorry to bang on about it, but this house has got bloody unreal natural light. We've only got a couple of wall sconces on, and it's bright as inside. And heading this way, we got a real spacious bathroom, travertine fill floors. And then you got the oak vanity with double sinks, marble bench tops, wall sconces, and a spacious shower using the same materials. Travertine's used on the floor as well as on the walls. I mean, cop a load of that view. How good's that window frame? Right, let's head back to the backyard. Another thing about this property I want to point out is the fact it was built by Nick Jones Construction. Right, gotta give him a shout out. Because when you're designing a massive house like this in the country, it ain't easy. Get those materials out here, get the trod eyes out here, and building a technical house like this on this kind of scale takes years, commitment, and there's heaps of technology in this house too. Looking back, the end result's bloody worth it. We can easily walk around and point out these details, but knowing how much work goes into build a house like this, I really appreciate their work. Now, looking back at the house, it reminds me of the property we shot in Calabasas a few years back, one of our real popular episodes. And that house had an above-ground infinity pool with a dead-set amazing view. And that's one of the reasons why that video went off. And I reckon when we clocked the photos of this property, when we were sussing out shooting this house, it reminded me of that house straight away. And gotta say, I reckon the land and view here is a bit better, right? Also, when we look back at the house, again, want to point out the steel column and this long steel beam that totally connects with the limestone wall, which creates the opening for the covered patio. I mean, that's a fair old stretch. And you get these spans by using heavy-duty steel beams and columns. Like we said before, got the deck with outdoor seating out here too. And heading this way, want to walk the grounds of this property a bit more. I reckon if I was living here, this is what I'd be doing every day. Whether you're on the blower or just want to clear your head, a walk like this is real handy. And when you live in a space like this, it's important to make the most of the outdoors as much as you can. While we're out here, want to yap about the views we're clocking. To my left's the Santa Monica Mountains. Actually, behind that's Malibu. Right in front of us is Ventura, stretching right out to the Pacific Ocean. To our right's Camarillo, and alongside that's actually Thousand Oaks. The elevation of this block is pretty special. So you get a real panoramic view. And at night, this view really lights up beautifully because you got all the houses and city lights right in front of us. But then we got the dark of the natural landscape, all those Bonza hilltops. And being out here at night is just as good as being out here during the day. And gotta say, I'm bloody stoked we came all the way out here to shoot this house. Cause just an hour out of Los Angeles, I didn't know an experience like this even existed. And I reckon this property, how it's positioned, these corridors, and all this quality coming together is a pretty special experience. And on top of that, you're in a hidden valley. And I mean, there's heaps to explore around here. We've been yapping about outdoor living and these views the whole episode. So I reckon what better way to go into the main bedroom, the house's bedroom, looking straight from the outside to the inside space. Actually, let's backtrack for a sec so we can show you the volume of this whole room. And we got a long corridor that takes you to this special room. Right to my left's the king-size bed. Vaulted ceilings in here are unreal. We got mood lighting to add to the vibe too. Light oak floors are used here too. And naturally, your seamless transition to the courtyard, which then takes you to those amazing views. Now, on the other side, we got the fireplace with a cozy sitting area. And these chairs look like big bomber jackets, like a soft bomber jacket, just hugging. Yeah, I didn't know what they're about. They just look real cozy. And I gave them a sus. They're comfy as, actually. And then we got the fireplace with a concrete hearth. So I reckon it was poured and finished. And it's got that lava rock in here too. Actually, they don't repeat the rib pattern. And this is a Samsung frame TV. So it can look like a piece of art, but also function as a telly. Now, heading this way, limestone, again, sorry for pointing out in every room. But let me take you into the bathroom. First thing you clock is the space, the volume, the natural light flooding in, and this glass wall, of course, fastened that view. But before we get to the bathroom, I really want to chat about the vanity here. This vanity's got a similar design to the one we sussed out in the loo next to the movie room. And naturally, we got integrated drainage. Technically, this is the makeup area, because your main vanity's on this side. And oak cabinetry's used here too. We got exposed metal detail, double sinks with a straight drain. Limestone's used as the splashback too. And the mirror-mounted lighting's real nice. Light churnine from the side of the panel. And it just lights up the whole assembly, which is a real unique design element. Don't reckon I've clocked this before, but I really rate the natural light coming in and the minimalist tone here. Righto, walk-in bath, your bathtub. And now right? Let's duck into the shower room. You could easily fit like 15 to 20 people in here. Not that I'm suggesting you do, but it's a fair dinkum enormous walk-in shower. and we've got a slab of travertine stone with consistent veining here. And here, like I said before, they've left it raw. You can practically hear the texture. You can definitely see the texture. It brings a bit of the Aussie bush into your personal space, doesn't it? You've got the shower head up top, naturally. Your controls are here. And we've also got a heated towel rail nearby, which is always a nice touch. The shower itself is just incredibly spacious. Next up is the loo on my left. And now, venturing further inside, we got the dressing room. This is a genuinely generously sized room. And when you first walk in, it's a bit deceptive, I reckon. But once you swing around the corner, you clock the full length and volume of it. And the fact that we got 2 skylights up here definitely helps brighten things up. Fair dinkum. And you pair that with the oak flooring, beautiful stuff. There are these rich, warm timber tones throughout the whole space. And, of course, you've got your hooks, your shoe racks, your drawers. The exposed metal detailing pops up in here too, doesn't it? And at the first section, they left it open. But here they popped in an island. That way, you got a handy little thing go like this for all sorts of different uses. And those skylights definitely come in handy. And because this house is nearly 15,000 square feet, you absolutely need a big, bloody, spacious wardrobe like this, wouldn't you? Now, we're kicking off the bedroom section with the master bedroom, but we still have a couple more bedrooms to suss out and a ripper of a living area. Let's go take a squiz, shall we? Now, it's bonza having a long hallway like this to really set the tone for the bedrooms that we're about to show you. But before we get too carried away, we really got to point out a couple of the details. Firstly, on my left, we got the door opening up to a seriously spacious laundry room with 2 washing machines and 2 dryers and a heap of storage space. And that's also the doorway leading to the main 4-car garage, which is attached to the house. Now, on my right, we got these built-ins here, a little spot for all your pieces of artwork with mood lighting and recessed lighting. This is where you can display your family photos. You can do a heap with this section. Now, moving onwards and upwards, the bedrooms have a bit of a lounge/entertainment area. And this is a fun space, especially if you've got little tackers or a big family. I reckon you could get a fair bit of use out of this space. No worries. On my right, we got the seating area with this seriously cool sofa, a very unique travertine stone coffee table. I bet that was tricky to knock up, and here we have a games table. That's tops. Magic and Bird, Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. 2 legends in the game of basketball, and that's a genuinely awesome poster. And on my right, I've got a table tennis table. As a team, we love a bit of ping pong. And this is a really unique table. It's almost like a mid-century modern ping pong table with this solid timber surface and the metal mesh. Right now, in this zone, we have a grand total of 3 bedrooms. The hallway on my left leads you to the primary school bedroom, where the room has the glorious views. And of the 3 bedrooms we're about to show you now, this is one of them that is not furnished. They're not staged, but they are definitely good-sized rooms. They've all got great natural light, just like the rest of the house. And the fact that the other 2 rooms are down this hallway. And these 2 bedrooms also have their own en-suite bathrooms. Now, I want to add in a bit about 2 more things here. Firstly, the volume and the ceiling height in here. And these little windows bring the natural light. This house largely has a flat roof design, but throughout the entire house, we have sections that are vaulted or are raised up, and those sections have a pitched roof design. So, throughout the entire house, you can see these different portions as you view it from a drone shot. That's how they're doing this high roof design, while still keeping the rest of the house partially with a flat roof. The second detail I want to make mention of here is this cool patio space. You open up the sliding glass doors, you step out to this outdoor space, and the steel roof design here is seriously top-notch. We got this long beam running along either side of the wall providing support, and the whole steel structure is floating in the air providing shade for the seating area. And then you can also clock this, the crushed granite pathway connecting back to the main pathway that goes around the entire property. I mean, it's genuinely grouse. And what a bonza day be touring this house. Taking the views, the outdoor spaces, the indoor spaces. And there's only one thing left we have to do, and that is to see this property at twilight. All right, everyone, that wraps up the tour. What an absolute ripper of a day to be touring this magnificent property. No city noise, no traffic, just pure serenity. It's been a pleasure for both myself and the team, and I hope you lot enjoyed this episode as well. Now, I want to give a massive shout out to the listening staff, Nikki Laporta and Karen Crystal, for making this tour happen. And as per usual, you can find out more information about this in the description of this video. So be sure to give it a G's. Now, lastly, if you enjoyed our tour, give us a like, subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next one.